Does your homeowner's insurance cover water damage? Well, it should. Let's get into it. So why is this even a question for us today? Why have you even searched for, does my homeowner's insurance cover water damage? Well, you probably already know that the definition of what water damage is means a great deal to how your homeowner's insurance policy is going to respond to the claim itself. In general, the very first thing for us to remember is that sudden and accidental damage is almost always covered, with one minor exception, that is, and that is, of course, flood insurance. You probably are all very well aware that flood is not covered on a traditional homeowner's insurance policy. But again, anything that is sudden, happens quickly, and is accidental, something you didn't cause or is something you couldn't have easily prevented, it's largely going to trigger the insurance policy to say, yes, we can pay you some sort of recovery because of the claim that you're filing. Slow leaks, slow drips, rotting wood, all those sort of things, you are in a gray area when it comes to the insurance policy. Again, the insurance is designed to cover sudden and accidental things. If there's a maintenance problem, one small leak or something maybe you've seen or didn't see, but it's happening over time, the insurance policy is far less likely to respond in those scenarios. Sudden and accidental. The second thing to remember, and I've said it once already, but I'm going to reiterate it time after time, that is that flood insurance is not covered on a traditional homeowner's policy. The reason that is because there are separate flood insurance programs. Flood can be very expensive depending on where you live, where your home is actually situated. Flood insurance, I'll save it for another video, but in general, it's rising water that comes up and into your home from the ground. Sometimes that can actually include seepage into the crawl space and other areas of your home that water doesn't actually penetrate the ceiling or the walls or anything like that. So flood insurance, not covered because it's water that is rising up from the ground. And so water damage because of flood, it's not a covered cause of loss on your homeowner's insurance policy. The third thing to remember is that water must penetrate your home. So again, kind of back to the flood example, but water can't just naturally spring into or seep into your home. A very common occurrence that we see is water is collecting below the home and causing damage to the HVAC system or the air system or plumbing and electric systems underneath the house because of a large amount of water that has collected there. If that water came in from the roof or from the sides of the home through windstorm, rain, again, see number one, sudden and accidental, something that happened quickly, then yes, there may be coverage afforded to you. But if over time water has started to get into your crawl space and you haven't done a good job of keeping up with that, those sort of things could be denied on a water claim against your homeowner's insurance policy. It's always good to know what's going on in and around your house, and this is no less a reason why you need to make sure you keep tabs on all those things. Again, water must penetrate. The most common thing we see here and where a claim is paid out is water gets in through the roof because of a big windstorm, or it damages the shingles first, all those sort of things. There are some policies that will actually stipulate wind-driven rain and have an exclusion on the insurance policy for wind-driven rain. So rain that's just coming in sideways and gets into the vents and things that traditionally don't allow water to get into, and that causes a problem. So in general, if it penetrates the home, we're good. You might have a problem if it's wind-driven rain. Complicated stuff. Number 4, it's kind of a tip. Make sure you purchase water and sump overflow coverage. This coverage is really important. It's actually a way to get some kind of flood insurance on your homeowner's insurance policy. And that is by basically telling the insurance company that you want them to cover when water comes in through the drain system. Or if your sump pump might fail in your basement and water is not being pumped out like it should be. Those sort of things are often excluded from the policy, but they do offer you the opportunity to buy them back. Reach out to your insurance agent, make sure they understand what that coverage is, please, and then have them put that on your insurance policy. It's usually not all that expensive to add that coverage, and it gets you some extra measure of protection in those cases. So, wow, is water damage really covered on an insurance policy, a homeowner's insurance policy? Yes and no. Again, the number one rule, sudden and accidental, you likely have coverage. If it's not, if it's slow, if there's some other complication with how the water got into the home, you may have a problem. I will look forward to seeing you next time. On behalf of all of us here at Callahan & Rice Insurance, thanks for watching.